Who would come out on top in a fight, Aragorn or Geralt of Rivia? Today we are going to dive into both lore and worlds of Tolkien and Sapkowski and try and see who you think, or who I think, or who we think could be top dog. Let's start with combat skills and experience. Both Aragorn and Geralt are highly experienced fighters, but their experiences in terms of training are very different. Looking into Aragorn, he is a ranger, raised in the wilderness and trained by some of the greatest warriors in Middle-earth. His foster father Elrond taught him much about warfare and the ways of elves. He's fought in countless battles, like the defence of Helm's Deep and the Battle of Pelennor Fields, and he's proven himself to be an exceptional leader all round. Aragorn also has experience fighting trolls and orcs, even the Nazgul, so I think it's pretty evident that he will just face anything, even those overwhelming odds, with absolute bravery. If you dig a little bit deeper, his swordplay is described as swift and deadly, using the famous elven sword Anduril, which was forged from the shards of Narsil, the blade that cut the One Ring from Sauron's hand. Now let's talk about Geralt. As a witcher, Geralt was trained from childhood in the deadly art of monster hunting. He's been through the trial of the grasses, which gave him superhuman strength, speed, and reflexes. But what makes Geralt's fighting style unique is his ability to blend swordplay with magic, or signs, as we call them in Sapkowski's world. Geralt wields two swords, a steel blade for humans and regular beasts, and a silver sword for monsters. His combat style is agile, almost like a dance. He uses fast, fluid movements and quick reflexes to dodge and counter, often outpacing his opponents before they can even react. In the book The Last Wish, it's mentioned that he moves with unnatural speed, and he's able to take on multiple foes at once with ease, using both his swords and signs like Ard to knock enemies back or Ignai to set them on fire. Speaking of weapons, let's talk Anduril, Flame of the West. It's a weapon steeped in legend. It was reforged from Narsil, the blade wielded by Elendil in the Last Alliance. Anduril has a powerful legacy behind it, and it's no ordinary sword. In the Two Towers, the elves reforge it for Aragorn as a symbol of his destiny to become king. The weapon is not only a testament to his heritage, but it is also described as incredibly sharp and durable, capable of cutting through enemy ranks with ease. Its power is tied to Aragorn's lineage as the heir of Isildur. Whilst Aragorn doesn't use his magic directly, his connection to the elves in his bloodline give him an enhanced endurance, strength, and perception. He is an exceptional tracker, able to withstand long periods of time in the wilderness alone. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Geralt wields two swords, which are specifically crafted for different types of foes. His steel sword is forged for humans and normal beasts, while his silver sword is lethal against monsters. The silver sword is especially dangerous against magical creatures, as we see in Blood Elves when Geralt faces a Striga, and in the Sword of Destiny when he battles a basilisk. He also carries strength, speed, and perception, and though these potions are dangerous, and they can have very harmful side effects, his equipment is a big advantage in his fight. He can use potions like Thunderbolt to increase his combat power and Swallow to rapidly heal wounds. He can coat his blade with oils that make him more effective against specific enemies. In a prolonged fight, Geralt's ability to enhance his physical capabilities through alchemy could give him a very unique edge. For me, Geralt's signs might give him a little bit of an advantage over Aragorn. When you think about it, Aragorn doesn't use magic, but Geralt's signs give him access to basic but effective spells. For example, his telekinetic blast can knock enemies off their feet, even shattering armor or weapons, and you see this described in The Last Wish during his fight with the bandits. He could use this to disrupt Aragorn's attacks and create a space between them in order to just fuel that fight. Geralt's protective shield can absorb damage, which can be crucial in deflecting a direct blow, especially from a blade like Anduril. In Blood Elves, we see Geralt use Ignite to scorch enemies with flames, something that could easily disrupt Aragorn's rhythm in a fight. Strengths and weaknesses. Aragorn is obviously a master swordsman with a wealth of experience, and that experience leading armies and fighting against those overwhelming odds is a huge advantage. He's also incredibly durable. Remember, he fought off the Nazgul on Weathertop with nothing but his sword and some flaming brands, and later fought through endless waves of orcs in Helm's Deep and the Pelennor Fields. His biggest strength is his resilience and his ability to stay calm under pressure, but he lacks that magic or enhanced senses, which could be a disadvantage against Geralt's fast reflexes and spells. Geralt, on the other hand, has his Witcher mutations. He could be faster, stronger, and with better reflexes than any human. His signs give him a lot of versatility in a fight, allowing him to control the battlefield and defend against attacks. However, while Geralt can take on monsters, his fights against skilled human opponents, like in the Tower of the Swallow, show that he can struggle when he's evenly matched in skill. So who would win? Both characters are evenly matched in so many ways. In an open fight, Geralt's use of signs and potions gives him a slight advantage in terms of speed and versatility, and his ability to use maybe Ard to knock Aragorn back or Quen to block a deadly strike from Anduril could turn the tide. But Aragorn has the edge in endurance and leadership. He's a seasoned warrior who's fought in massive battles against overwhelming odds, and in a straight-up sword fight, Aragorn's skill with Anduril is probably going to knock Geralt out of the park, especially if Geralt's potions and stamina start to wear out over time. In the end, does it come down to the men, or does it come down to the environment and the length of the fight? In a prolonged battle, I'd give Aragorn the edge every day, purely to his resilience and combat experience. But in a fast-paced, intense duel, I think Geralt's got this one. His speed, his agility, his magical abilities might just give him that upper hand. Either way, it's the kind of showdown that we'd love to see on screen. Am I right? Anyway, as always, I'm not going to nag you to do all of those things, but I'm going to implore you to do them anyway. But please comment, who do you think would win? And give me a reason, because I love to read these kind of things.